Hello, hello, everyone. Wait for you all to get in. Hello. We got a lot of people still coming in. How's everybody enjoying this random weather of hot yesterday? Felt like summertime, and today was a weird swell of snow. Can't win in Colorado. Gotta keep everybody busy on what it's gonna be like for weather. Here she is. Good. And I'm just letting more people in. If everybody, let's see, what is a good question to ask? We'll see who will answer today. If you had to be an ECE again, what career would you still be doing the same career you're doing now, or would you be doing something else in ECE? Oh, you all get so shy. I think I will always be stuck in ECE, not stuck, but in ECE. I would have liked to research more in ECE. I'm learning more now than I ever did before becoming a coach, which is awesome. So I hope all of you are using your coaches and learning different things. Sorry, I'm just adding people. And then, yes, if you could pretty please put your first, last name, and email address in the chats. That way I will make sure you get all the follow-up information. I love that Natalie would still be doing the same exact thing. And then I am going to hand it over in a second. So sorry. Wow, there's a lot of people coming in today. Natalie, I will make you co-host. Newbert, sorry. Not Ortega. There's two of you in here. Mitt. All right, let me find it. I'm gonna hand it on over. Let me see, make sure, oh, there was 13 messages. Let me just make sure nobody else said anything in the chat. Perfect, just all your guys' email addresses, first and last name, which is perfect. And I will hand it over to you, Natalie.
Hello, thank you so much. So happy to be here today, y'all. With that, since I'm only able to be here for the first 30 or so minutes of this, I'm just going to dive right in. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, can y'all see that? I'm seeing some nods. Okay, awesome. So we're going to do a quick introduction to Adams County resources, just to get you all familiar, really show you how to utilize the site. So typically to search for resources and to make referrals or share out resources, if that makes sense for you and your role in the work that you're doing with families in Adams County. So just a quick introduction. I will hand it over to you, Megan, to introduce yourself, and then I'll follow you.
So most of you know me already. I'm Megan Keeling. I'm our outreach specialist and quality improvement navigator. And this year, part of my role is helping outreach and helping our partners that are on this Adams County resources, which offers free and reduced support and services to Adams County.
Okay, awesome. And I'm just going to move this little bar over here. There we go. And I am Natalie Newbert. So I've had the pleasure of working with Megan and other folks at ECPAC on Adams County resources for, gosh, over a year at this point. But I'm a community engagement manager with Find Help. I'm based in Denver, Colorado. And I am here to assist with helping y'all learn how to utilize the site in a way that makes sense for you. So a quick overview of what we're going to chat through today. So we're going to just do a brief introduction and overview of what is Adams County Resources and how did this come to be, and then how y'all can utilize it. So for that portion, I will go into a demo format and kind of show you around the site, get you acquainted with things, and then we're just going to review some key takeaways and next steps. And for this next part, Again, y'all probably know Megan very well, but she's just going to provide some additional background and context again as to where did this platform come from and why did ECPAC choose to work with us? So I'll hand it over to you, Megan.
Hi, yes. So our mission, so sorry, is building a community where all young children, their families, and early childhood professionals can reach their full potential. And so with all of the pieces with our ECPAC mission and vision, and if you can go to the next slide too, Natalie, I'll show them this piece. Putting all of these pieces together for children and families, the employment, the mental health, and the food, and the transit, and the family support, early education, safe and stable housing, all of this helped ECPAC know that there was a need for a referral platform. And so we were below the state average with identifying problems and intervention. And so I wasn't here in the beginning, but we worked with Natalie and the Find Help team. And so through that, we created the Adams County resources to help with the referral process. So that's a just basic overview.
Yeah, basic overview. So that is super helpful context, Megan. I know that y'all are very familiar with ECPAC to begin with. So this platform is really here to help you all. And so I'm going to kind of walk us through that. So on the Find Help side, we really like to begin every presentation that we do talking about any version of the platform with our mission and why we're here. So our mission at Find Help is to connect all people in need and the programs that serve them with dignity and ease. And this is super important to us because we feel that everyone deserves ease of access to programs and, almost more importantly, the dignity of a response for their requests made for assistance. So here is the problem we're trying to solve with Adams County Resources. We know that it's super hard to navigate system of help networks. And I'm sure this is a problem that many of y'all probably know far too well, whether that's through your current job or just through your personal life. So we have an individual, client, community member, stakeholder that is in need of resources. And then we have thousands of dedicated programs, many of which I'm sure y'all help to run in your communities, but the connection process from the individual to accessing those programs can sometimes be a jumbled mess of eligibility requirements, various restrictions, maybe they're having issues contacting that organization. The list goes on and on. And so we explain that that process of, again, the individual connecting to the program can look a little bit something like this. So a pretty cumbersome journey of determining which programs may exist to actually meet their needs, but then whether or not they may actually be eligible to receive those services. So with that, at Find Help and with Adams County Resources, we are trying to make that process easier through streamlining it. And we do this by enabling individuals who are seeking care or those that are helping them to navigate that system of care, to search for relevant resources within their geographic area, browse all available programs, and then directly connect to those programs through the platform. So hopefully that's helpful additional context. But if you're still wondering, so what exactly is Adams County Resources, which I keep referring to? In essence, Adams County Resources is a free online directory. I always compare it to Google or Yelp that lists free or reduced cost direct social services to individuals nationwide. So Adams County Resources is going to be geared specific toward Adams County, but you can certainly still utilize it to look up resources in other parts of the country as well. And when I say resources or services, that includes anything from medical care to housing and financial assistance to education and workforce development programs, and so much more. So really everything that is beneath that social determinants umbrella. A couple of important things to know: this resource is completely free for individuals that are looking for help to use, as well as for organizations to utilize as well. And of special note is that there are over 1,300 programs listed in every zip code nationwide, and we're always working to add more programs. So hopefully that number for Adams County and your zip codes has gone up. A couple of benefits to using Adams County resources specifically. is that we have an open network. So this open network is available to local communities and it's available nationwide, that people who are interested in utilizing Adams County resources to find resources can do so anywhere at any time. So like I said, we do have lots of specific resources to Adams County, but you can, again, if you are helping a family member that perhaps lives in a different county or maybe a different part of the country, you can use it for that as well. And that find help privacy is at the heart of what we do. And so in order to deliver on our mission, we want to ensure that the users of our platform have the agency to choose when, where, and with whom their information is shared. And with that, it's important to note that our platform is HIPAA and FERPA compliant, and we are HITRUST certified. Lastly, our tool is super versatile and can be used in a variety of ways for both individuals and organizations alike. And we believe that this flexibility allows our users to determine how they want to access those services, which we'll go into a little bit more detail during the demo, which is coming up next. But before I dive into showing you all around the platform, are there any questions so far that I can answer? Okay. So here comes the fun part. We're going to navigate to Adams County resources, which I'm also just going to stick in the chat in case anyone wants to follow along. So this is the Adams County resources landing page. If you haven't seen it before, maybe you have. And so I want to highlight a couple of things first. So you'll notice up here that I'm currently not logged in. So everything I'm about to show you all, you are able to do without creating an account, and you can do so anonymously. Also very important to our mission. So if you're ever assisting a community member or a family and showing them how to use this platform, they do not have to give their identity away. They can use it for free this way. Second, we have the select language Google translation option here. This is available on every page. This is just where it sits on the home page. So you have the option to translate into over 100 languages powered by Google Translate. And then finally, I know that y'all work for some different programs, organizations. We'll kind of touch on this more at the end, but if it pertains to you and you're thinking after this presentation, I do want to have my program listed or I want to see it if it's listed, you'll scroll to the bottom of any of our home pages and you'll click the suggest program button. And that's how you would initiate that process. We'll circle back to at the end, but just wanted to touch on that briefly here. So first things first, let's say that I am assisting a family member and to find resources. Can someone give me a zip code in the chat to use for this example? And I will put that in the search. Perfect. Thank you, Nicole. We're going to do 80221. So I'm going to add that zip code right here, and then I'm going to click on search. And then I'm brought to this second page. So a couple of things to note here. When I'm assisting someone or I'm perhaps looking for resources for myself, I have this search bar up here. So I could type in a keyword here, such as food, or I could type in a specific organization, for example. So you always have that option at the top. Also, if I wanted to change my zip code at any point during the search, I would do that right here and then click the teal search class button. Also important to note is that the translation option is still on this page, but it's now here. So you can still, if you haven't yet translated into a different language, you're always able to do that here. And then if you're not sure exactly what you're looking for, you can browse different resources using these category icons. So as I hover my mouse over an icon and scroll down, I see food as the main category and then many different subcategories and then even more specific subcategories. The number in parentheses is letting me know how many programs in that category are available in my geographic area associated with that first zip code, 80221. So for the purposes of our demo, I am going to scroll over to care, for example, And then I am going to go to daytime care and I'm going to click on childcare since that is what the community member that I'm working with, what their need is. So I will go ahead and click on childcare. And I already saw that there are 36 different options. Sometimes there might be even more. So if that's the case, and this might be overwhelming to sift through, I recommend using some of our filtration options at the top. So if I click on personal filters, I can filter by these various identifiers of the person in need. So I can identify their specific age group, disabilities, education level, employment, and if there are any health concerns. And then I also have the option to choose program filters. So how do I want to get in touch with this organization? And what are their hours, for example? So let's say, for example, I need childcare that's available on the weekends, or the community member I'm assisting does. I can choose that. All of the programs that are listed for the most part are going to be free or reduced costs, but if, for example, I needed the program to be free, I could also put that here. And then if my first language is anything other than English and I need the program to be available in that language, I can also choose from these options here. So I'll click on open weekends and that it's free, and I'll further filter my search. And I've narrowed down my search options a little bit more. We also have the income eligibility filter as well, if that is relevant. Then up here, I have the option to sort by relevance. So based on those filters I just put in, or closest. So how close is it to the zip code that I initially entered? As I scroll down, I see these white boxes populating, and we call these program cards. So each card houses a different program. And the breakdown of these cards is, in bold at the top, we have the name of the program. Then we have the organization that houses that program or the provider. You can see when this listing was last reviewed. And then I see a very brief description of the program. And then I see main services with these different tags. We call these service tags. And that is what drives the search on Find Help. Population serving. And then if I scroll down, I see more info. I'm able to click this and see a lot of additional helpful information about this program. So I can see their eligibility requirements, whether or not they're available on a wait list, temporarily closed, etc. Additional information in the description. Languages, the cost, recommended next steps, their website, their coverage area. And then I can even scroll down and see their location and their hours. It looks like they have 3 separate locations. And on the map, I can also see those here. And if I scroll back up, I can also see on the right side of the card, the recommended next step. So it recommends that I call this organization. It lets me know how far it is from my zip code, the address, and then the hours are listed here. A couple of other things. The teal button in the bottom right-hand corner is letting me know how that organization would prefer that I reach out to them. So in this case, it says see next steps. And again, it recommends that I call them directly to get in touch with them. Let's scroll down and see if there's another. Yeah, so for example, this Leukemia and Lymphoma Society recommends that I apply on their website. If I click on that, it'll directly link me there. But let me pull back up to our original list to see if I can show y'all some additional options. Okay. So now that I got rid of some of those filters, we have a couple of other options. So for example, this Head Start Adams County Services program also wants me to apply on their site. So if I click on that teal button, it's going to link me directly to that application page. But looking at this New Legacy Charter School program here, they have this Contact Here button. So for them, when I click Contact Here, it brings me to this really basic referral form. So I am able to refer myself, a family member, or my community member or client who I'm helping directly to this program through the platform. So just helpful when you are searching the site for different programs to pay attention to what this teal button says. And that's the recommendation laid out by that organization. A few other things to note. You'll see for this Head Start program that it has this check in the upper right-hand corner. And when I hover my mouse over it, it brings me this pop-up that lets me know that this program has been claimed by Adams County Human Services. We call that claiming. When we say claim, it's very similar to how Google and Yelp utilizes it for various businesses that are listed. And it means that someone that works for that organization went online and claimed the listing. So they made an account, and we then assume that they ensured that it was accurate and up to date. So they're able to edit it. We like to have these check marks because we can assume, as I mentioned, that likely those that have been claimed are more up to date and more likely to respond to requests made for assistance. Also, claimed listings will populate higher in search results for that same reason. This little ribbon icon lets me know that this program has been certified. They've completed a couple of trainings, and in that same vein, they are more equipped to utilize the platform in a deeper way. And again, we would assume that it's easier to get in touch with them to help our community members in need. A couple of other things to note, y'all. So as you are utilizing the platform to search for services, maybe you're working with a community member and you think this Head Start program would be an awesome one to refer them to or for them to check out. And you're also thinking this Child Care Adams County program would be great as well. You have a couple of different ways of sharing these resources with them. So I know that some folks still prefer to have printed resources. If that's the preference, you'll go ahead and click on this check mark button. So for this, I'm going to do these two. And then I'm going to click in yellow where it says two selected. And then it gives me the option to email or print them. So that's one option here. You also have the option to directly share with your community member by sending this to them via email, text, or on Facebook. So a couple of different contact options as well. To utilize some of these other features like notes and the save button, we do need to be logged in, which you can create a free account to do so. So I'll get into that in just one moment, but I see you have some hands are raised, so I'll pause for some questions.
Natalie, my question is, you showed that we can do a few of them to print. Is there a way to just print almost all of them? Because a lot of sites that are going through ratings have to have these, and they need it more of a physical form than just this website form. Is that a possibility?
You can print as many as you want, but if you are asking if there's a select all,
Yes.
not on this version or this page. However, you kind of lead me into my next point. So this would be one way that I would recommend doing it. So as I mentioned, everything you saw up until this point, I did without being logged in. So I've done it anonymously, but you are also able to create a free account if you want to do so. Again, free, totally up to you. If and when you create a free account, I'm going to navigate over to my demo platform just to show y'all on my demo account. But once you've created your free account, when you log in to find help or to Adams County Resources, you would see your name up here, and you're able to create something called favorites folders. So over here, that's going to be this little star button on the program card. So I don't know if any of y'all are in the position where you work with the same programs, or maybe you want, as you mentioned, a list of those programs that are in your community, perhaps to print out, to share, whatever makes sense for you. You would click this save button. You do need to be logged in though. So I'm going to navigate back over here. You would click save, and then it would give you the option to save to a favorites folder. You can create as many as you want. And when you're logged in, under your name, you'll click on saved favorites, and all of those folders will show up for you on the left-hand side. You can make personal folders, so just visible to you, or you can make shared folders if you create a team. That's something that we go into more detail in the 201. But let's go, for example, I have this Colorado Housing Organizations. This would be an easier way to print all of the resources, as there's this print button at the top here. So then you'll get them all in this like nicer format. So that would be my recommendation for printing. I believe you can still print the full page. But I think favorites folders just puts it into a little bit nicer of a format. The final two buttons on this program card, y'all, are the notes button. So if you want to take specific notes on a program card, I'll show you over here. You can rate it and save specific notes. Again, you can make them just for yourself or you can share them with your team. It's not visible to the organization or program themselves. This is really just for you. And the final thing is, as you're navigating around Adams County resources looking for programs, if you see a program that you're very familiar with through your work in the community and you notice that the information listed on the program card is inaccurate, we highly encourage you to suggest a change. So we want this to be a community resource that we're all working together to maintain. And in that, anyone can suggest a change to a program at any time through this button here. So the last piece that I wanted to go over with y'all is I know we went over how to search for resources, how to filter your options, and how you can connect to these resources or share them through printing, sharing. We went over suggesting changes, favorites folders, and notes. The last thing I wanted to talk through quickly was our referral workflow. But before I dive into that, are there any additional questions about what we've gone over so far? Okay. Then with the limited time we have left, and hopefully I'm not taking up too much here, I'll scurry through. So for example, for this new Legacy Charter School program, y'all see here that it has this contact here button. It's a little bit different than the See Next Steps. And again, when I click on that, I'm brought to this pretty basic referral form. One of the first things it's reminding me of the eligibility requirements. So before I go through the process of submitting a referral, I can make sure that I have these requirements met or my client does. Then it's asking who this referral is for. So in the case that I'm assisting a community member, this is going to be referring on behalf of someone else. And then I'll fill in their information. Once I fill in their information, I'll choose the best way to get in touch with them. I can add a comment if I want. So if there's any additional information I want the program to know. And then I have to confirm the consent on every referral I make on the platform. It's super important to our mission as well. Once I do that, I'll then click send. I'm not actually going to do that as I don't want to send a fake referral to the new Legacy Charter School. But when I send that referral, a couple of things happen. So first, my community member that I've been assisting is going to receive an email confirming that this referral was sent on their behalf. And that will look a little something like this. Can y'all see the email I just dragged over? Yeah, okay. So say, hey, Natalie referred you to this program and provide me with some additional next steps. And they can even update the status of that referral through clicking one of these buttons here. The next thing that'll happen is that the organization who the referral was sent to will also receive an email notification that the referral was sent to their program. And that's going to look a little something like this. It's going to give the community members information here. And again, they can also directly respond to the referral by clicking one of these buttons. If the organization does update the status of the referral through one of these buttons, that automatically sends that back to both the individual and the navigator, whomever made the referral. So everyone is kept in the loop on where it's at. So as you're referring clients to resources, if there's ever a referral option, I would recommend doing that if that's the preference of the organization. But again, you can also share or click on the check marks and print. So I know we're pretty much at time, but we'll bustle through. Any questions about that referral workflow?
Natalie, are you okay if I just talk with the last couple slides real quick?
You got it. Yes.
Okay, so the reason that we brought this to you was I know Natalie showed all the childcare programs on here, but we really wanted to bring this to you because you have families that will come to you that are homeless that need support, or you'll have staff members that don't have enough money to be able to buy food. And so then we have food pantries on here. And so this is a great resource that we thought you guys could bring to your staff members and to your family. And then in regards to the child care programs, ECPAC has a general site on here that says if you're looking for childcare, it will direct you to childcare in Adams County, which is the site we encourage you guys all to be on. That's the site that shows the real-time availability, and we advertise it with our community and families to search on childcare in Adams County. And so if you offer a free and reduced service such as Head Start, you're more than welcome to be on this program, on this resources find help program. And that's where you can suggest. So now it's showing you can suggest programs if you don't see them on here. You can also claim your program if you do see it on here. And then you can attend one of our 101 or 201 trainings. If you want to be on here, you offer free and reduced services. That was all real quick.
Thanks. Sorry that I went a little over time, y'all. As Megan said, we have these trainings on a monthly cadence. She's going to send out follow-up information if you want to register. And during that training, we go over what happens after you claim. So if, again, that makes sense for you, highly recommend attending. It'll give you more insight into how to utilize the free suite of tools that become available once you've claimed. And then here is our information. Again, I'm sure it sounds like y'all know Megan very well, but here's my email, and I'll also stick it in the chat. So if you have any additional questions, please reach out to us. And I appreciate everyone's time. And thanks for having me today.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Megan, for talking about that portion of chats. Our next portion about chats is going to be Project Include, and I will hand that over to Claire. I'm going to make you co-host as well.
All right, thank you. While you're doing that, I'm going to share a few links in the chat before I just start talking. So here are the slides that I'll present if anybody would like a copy of those. And then this is our Project Include website. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And my slide. All right. Well, thanks, Amanda. Thanks, everyone, for having me this afternoon. I'm super excited to tell you about Project Include. My name is Claire Simpson, and I'm an occupational therapist on the Project Include team. And I'm going to try my best to keep an eye on the chat as we go. But if you have any questions as we're going, feel free to just unmute as well. So during this presentation, I'll tell you very briefly about the Center for Inclusive Design and Engineering where I work, and then I'll tell you more specifically about Project Include and kind of focus on our Universal Design and Inclusion Kits, which are available for loan by licensed childcare providers. And actually, we're newly partnering with ECPAC to help make those more accessible and available to childcare providers in Adams County. So I'll tell you about that as well. Just really quickly, I want to tell you about the Center for Inclusive Design and Engineering where I work, so that you kind of understand who we are and what we do. So we're called the Center for Inclusive Design and Engineering. We go by CIDE for short. We're a department we're within the Department of Bioengineering at CU Denver, and we're a multidisciplinary team. We have several different projects underneath the umbrella of our larger center. Project Include is just one of them. We have projects kind of for individuals across the lifespan. All of those projects have the same goal of improving the quality of life for people with disabilities through the use of assistive technology and adaptive equipment. And so, like I said, Project Include is just one of those programs, and this is one of our programs that targets children birth through age 5. This is a collaborative effort between us at the Center for Inclusive Design and Engineering and our partners at the Colorado Department of Early Childhood. And the project came about because there was a needs assessment done by Colorado Shines a few years back, and they found that 37% of parents of young children with disabilities didn't feel like they had a child care provider in their area that could support their child's needs. And so the overall goal of Project Include is to change that by supporting licensed child care providers in Colorado to feel more confident and comfortable including all children in their program, and especially children with disabilities and delays. So just a few important things to know about Project Include. The only requirement to participate in Project Include is to have a Colorado child care license. So that's it. If you have a child care license in the state of Colorado and you're interested in learning about different ways that you can better support children with disabilities or delays, you could go to our website right now, fill out an interest form, and we would contact you from there and help you get started. You do not need to have a child with an identified disability or delay in the program, and there is no timeline to participate. So you can start with the resources whenever you want. You can move at your own pace through the different steps, and you can get the resources that you need just based on your own interests and need and availability. So there are 3 main components to Project Include, and they make up a sequential learning series. So the first step is for the childcare provider to take a 90-minute online training. This is available through PDIS for that credit, and it's called Introduction to Universal Design. It's actually publicly available to anyone who might be interested in learning more about universal design as it applies to childcare settings. So you don't have to be a licensed provider to access this first step, this training. But if you are a childcare provider and you take it, and then after you've completed it, you'd be eligible to check out one of our 5 universal design and inclusion kits. And I'll talk about these kits in a little bit more detail next. But after you have checked out at least one of the kits, then you or the provider is eligible for additional support from one of our licensed professionals on any topic that they might feel like they still need a bit more support on. So we have speech language pathologists, an ECSE, and an occupational therapist who provide this coaching. And during the coaching process, we're also able to buy some equipment for the childcare provider or program to help support the need more permanently. So things that the provider gets to keep at this point in the process. And then I just want to note that all of the resources available through Project Include are available in both English and Spanish. So that online training is available in either English or Spanish. Everything in the kits is bilingual, and then we do have a bilingual, a Spanish-speaking coach available to provide coaching in Spanish. So that was kind of the overview of the whole process. I want to dig in and tell you a little bit more about the kits in particular, and then the coaching and materials support pieces. So steps 2 and 3 in that process on the last slide. So we have 5 types of kits. We have a communication and literacy kit, behavior and cognition kit, fine and gross motor kit, and a vision and hearing kit. And then we recently created our infant kit. I'm still getting used to even saying that, but we're super excited to have an infant specific kit now. And programs can loan one of the kits for a 6-week loan period. They can loan more than one of the kits if they want. They could borrow all of the kits, but we just recommend borrowing one kit at a time. And that's because there's a lot in these kits. So each kit has about 20 to 30 different like low-tech tools and toys that were carefully selected to promote inclusion and participation of children with disabilities or delays in the developmental topic area of the kit. So for example, the picture on the screen is our communication and literacy kit. It's unpacked out of that box that it lives in, and there are just a variety of different things like communication buttons. These might be helpful to a child who is non-speaking to participate in a literacy or a communication activity. There are interactive books, props and manipulatives that might help a child feel more motivated to participate. And then each item has a QR code on it. You can see it a little bit on some of these items, but every single item has a QR code on it that links to a quick, usually like a 3 to 5 minute YouTube video, and that gives some ideas for how to use that particular tool or toy in a way that promotes inclusion. So for example, most childcare providers are very familiar with something like a shape sorter toy, where you put the shapes in the corresponding holes. But this can also be a really awesome tool to promote communication and communication opportunities, especially in children who may not be communicating as much as others. And so the video associated with that toy would just give some specific ideas for how to do that. And then finally, each kit has an information guide in it with just some background information on that developmental topic area, and a flash drive with additional digital and printable resources and DIY ideas that the program could download or print so that they could keep using some of the ideas after they return the kit. I am just going to quickly pop out, before I show you those, I'm going to quickly pop out and just give you a few examples of those videos that are associated with each item in the kit. And actually, I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen and then reshare so that I can make sure you have the sound. I always forget that piece. All right. So I'll just give you a few examples of some of the ideas from those videos. So I'm going to skip ahead to here. So this video is going to start by kind of just describing what the item is and how to program and operate it.
Once you have installed the battery, you can turn the device on by rolling the wheel on the back.
And then after it tells you kind of how to operate the tool or toy or device, it will move into how it can be used for a communication activity.
Finally, on level 3, we have an example of a message sequence that could be recorded to allow a child to be the leader by giving instructions to the rest of the children.
It's time to go outside.
Okay, what do we need to do?
Everybody stand up.
And then it'll go on to give some suggestions for how you can use this particular tool in the context of a literacy activity. So that is.
One way a sequencing device could be helpful is by recording the pages of the book so that a child using the device can read the book to their peers.
Brown bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me.
The single message devices could be used to record a repeating phrase in the book.
And then each kit also has, I don't know if I mentioned this when I was talking about the kit, but each kit also has a DIY video associated with it. That's just going to give tons of different ideas of things that you can make out of materials that you might already have around you to support some of these same things. So I'll show you just a few examples of from the DIY video.
You could also make symbols magnetic by attaching them to a magnetic clip or by taping them to a magnet that you already have. In addition, you could consider attaching any type of clip to the page. Some examples are a clothespin, a chip clip, or a binder clip. Some children might participate even more if they use a magnet or magnetic wand to turn the pages. While there are magnetic wands available for purchase, this one was created with a magnet held in place by some tongs that are kept closed with a piece of string. The magnet attracts the metal from the binder clip to make it easier to turn the page over. Consider making your own touch and feel book by attaching textures to the pages of a book to make it more interesting to explore. This can make literacy activities more engaging, especially for children with vision impairments or sensory needs. When selecting textures, make sure that each texture is different on every page from any other page for a more meaningful experience.
So that's just a few examples from the communication and literacy DIY video, just to give you some ideas of what those look like. And again, every single item in every kit has a QR code that links to a video that's like that first video with ideas for how to use each item. And then every kit also has its own DIY video associated with it. So this slide just has pictures of the other 4 kits. On the last slide, the communication and literacy kit was pictured. And on this slide, I've got some pictures of our infant kit, our behavior and cognition kit, our fine and gross motor kit, and our vision and hearing kit, just to really give you an idea of how much stuff is available and kind of the different things within each kit. And we have these pictures on our website as well if you wanted to look at them a little bit more closely. Once you've loaned, or once the childcare provider then has loaned and explored at least one of the universal design and inclusion kits, then they're eligible to apply for what we call customized coaching and materials support. And this level of support is for any provider that still has a challenge or a question or a need that wasn't addressed by using the strategies in the online video and in the kit. And this involves one-on-one coaching from one of our licensed professionals on, like I said, kind of any topic that the provider chooses related to supporting children with disabilities and delays. So this might be about kind of a specific area of need that you might have. You might be thinking of a specific child that you're wondering how you could best support. Or it could be a bit more general, like it could just be, we've had providers say, you know, well, we've never supported a child with a vision impairment before, but we want to be prepared to do so if we ever have that need. And so, so could be specific, could be more broad. You'll get a certain number of hours of coaching on that topic, really dependent on whatever you need. And then at the end of the coaching period, or really it's kind of throughout the coaching period, we can purchase toys and tools or assistive technology for you that you get to keep, or that the provider gets to keep, to better address the topic of concern more permanently. Again, all of this is at no cost to the program or the provider, and this coaching is also available in either English or Spanish. So that's kind of an overview of the resources available and the sequence for how they are available. Here are the steps, kind of the logistics, what you need to do to participate in each of these components. So if you're a childcare provider and you want to participate in Project Include, the first step would be to go to our website. So that link that I put in the chat, and from there to submit an interest form. So, and I'm actually going to pop out and show you that. So if you go to our website, and I will just throw the link in the chat one more time. This button on top here, it says complete an application today. If you click that, it'll take you to an interest form. And this just asks you for some information, you know, the child care name, the person completing the form, contact information, so that we can follow up with you and help you get the resources that you need. So that's the first step, is filling out that form. After we receive that form, we send you an email, and it gives you the steps for how to complete that online training. So a link to how to get in, and you go in and complete that through PDIS. And then after we see that you've completed that training, then we send you another email and we say, hey, now you're eligible to check out a kit. And we send you another form via email. It's just a quick Google survey again, just asking for a little bit of contact information, specify which kit you want to borrow. And then at this point, once you submit a kit request, someone from ECPAC will actually reach out to you. It'll most likely be Amanda Benson, and she'll help you get whichever kit you want to borrow from her. And then after that, you know, like I said, you explore the kit for about 6 weeks, return the kit. We'll follow up with another email and let you know now you're available to access the coaching and materials support, and just one more quick Google form to fill out to let us know that you want that next level of support. So that's the process overview. Everything that I've talked about and shared in this presentation is, you know, on our website. So here are a few different ways to access the website, but I also just put it in the chat. But all of the information about who is eligible to participate, what you can get by participating, what the different kits are like, frequently asked questions, all of that information is on our website. So definitely check that out. And then you can also email us at any time if you have additional questions or need any help getting involved. So that's it. I'm going to check the chat for questions. And Rosemary said, picked up a kit at the library. Awesome. That's super exciting. Yep. And then as a coach, could I do the training so that I know more about the kits and am able to tell my providers about them in more depth? So Sarah, currently only licensed childcare providers are eligible to borrow the kits. But you could certainly take that online training through PDIS. That's available to anyone to take. And then there's a lot of information about, sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't want to borrow the kits, just so that I know, like, if they ask me about the kits, that way I can be like, oh, no, this is what the training is about. So
yeah, I would say like the best resource is the website. There's,
okay.
and I'll show you this quick. So make sure my screen share is following. So each kit page has a ton of information. So a big picture of the kit, so you can kind of see what's in it. Some like things that might kind of prompt someone to want to use this particular kit, some examples of kit items, and then some more in-depth like spotlights. So this would be a really great place to just get familiar with the kits so that you can help the providers get involved. Thank you so much for being willing to do that. But yeah, also Amanda has a set of the kits. Amanda Benson has a set of the kits in her office.
Yeah, I took them to our offers with her yesterday. So
yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, and it's likely that she would reach out to coaches to help with transporting those. So you may be interacting with the kids in that way as well if
Yep.
she needs. I was just talking to her about that this morning. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for being willing to help spread the word. Are there any other questions? All right. Great.
Thank you, Claire. We appreciate you coming on today and talking about Project Include. And thank you, Megan and Natalie, as well, talking about the Adams Child Care resource page. I just had a couple questions for everybody in here. If you could, pretty please, if you haven't already, put your first, last name, and email address in the chat so that way I can send you all the information she just put up, as well as anything from Megan and Natalie as well. And then I'm also going to put a link in the chats if you guys wouldn't mind just filling out a 1-question survey just for me. It is different than the one in the email for the follow-up for your certificates, but I'm just trying to get a feel of how we ended up with so many people this time around and why sometimes we don't. So if you guys could help me with that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Of course, I was muted, wasn't I? No, okay. I must have accidentally muted myself, so I apologize. Thank you very much. If anybody has any other questions, please let everybody go ahead and ask them away. If not, thank you for being here today, and I really appreciate everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.